Okay, welcome to lesson number 15. We're going to create some columns here on our Farnsworth house. All right, so if we go over here into our plan view, and I've jumped ahead just a little bit. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn my plan on. Right, and if we look, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select all this stuff here, and I'm going to go ahead and hide that. And it looks like I need to turn off my glass and maybe turn off my mullions. Okay, so you'll notice that, and I'm going to hide these two guys too because I just drew those. Hide. You'll notice we've got a little column here, and another one here, and another one here. Right. So there's 4 of these columns. Okay, and they are going to be equidistant. So I'm going to go ahead and type in show, and actually I'll just go Control Z. And what I'm going to do is I've got a point here and a point here which are going to more or less indicate where those columns should be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on my rectangle center, and I'm going to turn my O-snap off and my smart tracking, and I'm going to try and draw something that more or less approximates that column. Okay, now it's a little big, so I'm going to go ahead and shrink it up just a bit, and maybe I'll move it just like that. Okay, all right. Now if we go into our perspective, you will notice that that probably snapped to the top, and it did. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this curve, and I'm also going to select. Now here's a great thing. Notice how I zoom in and it all disappears. That has to do with the tolerance, right? When this happens to you, you zoom in and it disappears. You go right up here to this little zoom window or zoom target, and you can select the thing you'd like to zoom around, and now you can zoom in and out without losing it. Also, once you've done that, it makes that object kind of the center of your world. Well, I zoomed in, I selected that and that, but watch this. If I say I want this to be the center of my world, I can click on here, zoom target, and now when I rotate, it should be the center of my world. Okay, so you'll notice I've got a point here and another point here. I'm going to take this curve, I'm going to turn my gumball off, and I'm going to run an extrude curve command, E-X-T-R-U-D-E. I could, of course, use the gumball as well. I'm going to run the extrude curve command, and I'm going to go to my right view, and I just want to make sure that this goes below my construction plane, right? Because these are going to be in the ground. Click, no problem. Okay, so now watch this. I'm going to highlight this point here, and I'm going to highlight this point here, and I'm also going to select my column. Okay, I'm going to type in show, and we're going to see how that column looks. I think it could move a little bit out, right? So I want to get just a bit farther out. So I'm going to turn on my gumball again, and whoops, pretty good. Now I apologize, I'm not a Farnsworth house scholar, so the details, I've never been here. The details may not be, and they certainly aren't perfect. Right, so let's go ahead and, oh, here's another thing. All right, you notice I'd like to actually have my gumball up here. So what I could do is I can click on this little dot right here. Oops, not this little dot, but this little guy right here. Nope. All right, gumball has changed a little bit from Rhino 6. Let's go up to our top view and just deal with it like this. I'm going to move that thing back just a bit to right about there. That looks pretty good. All right, so there you go. So it's just going a little bit past that there. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select my roof, and I'm going to hide it. And now I'm going to take my column and my point. So I'm going to hold down Shift. Yep. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to type in copy, C-O-P-Y. And I'm going to copy it from this point here, point to that point there. All right. Now that was pretty easy. But now, in order to, and this is just another way to go about things other than dividing. Now you notice I haven't decided where these other columns are going to be. I just need them to be equidistant. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select this column here, and I'm going to type in copy. And where it says point to copy from, I'm actually going to point, whoops, and I believe I'm going to hit escape for just 1 second. This is where a group would be handy. I'm going to select this column, hold down shift, and this point right here, that point, and I'm actually just going to group those so I don't get messed up again. Right, so now I'm going to type in copy. I'm going to select this, the column and the point, and I'm going to type in copy. And now it's going to say point to copy from. I'm actually going to copy it from this point over here. And notice I've got a bunch of different snaps on. If I just want to get my point snap on, and I've got all these other things, in the middle of a command I can actually type in POINT, enter, and that overrides everything but the point snap. Right? So now it says point to copy from. The only thing it's going to snap to is this point. So I'll go point, and now the point to copy to is I'm just going to snap to the next point, which is where in the middle of that column, that point. And notice this column over here has moved, and now I'm going to snap to this point. And again, too many point snaps on, so POINT, enter. I snap to that point, and I'm good to go. So I've just made 4 equidistant columns. Pretty cool. I can now take these 4 guys, I can select them. I can go to my top view, and I'm going to mirror them, M-I-R-R-O-R. And I'm going to mirror them around the midpoint. Hold down shift, and now these columns are all in a row. Let's see if it moved. It might not have. Yep. So now I've got 4 columns there. Okay. So pretty simple. The next thing we could do is I could just take this column and I could type in copy. And let's see where they are. Actually, I'm just going to stop these columns right here. I'm going to stop this model. And in the next one, we'll finish off. We'll put the columns down at the bottom. Okay. Thanks very much. I'll see you in the next lesson.